I'm here. Hi.
Hi,
You
I'm
look
here as well.
adorable. I love that top. You look so cute.
Oh, thanks.
I love it. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I just feel like I don't know, I'm not on my game tonight.
What's going
But
on, you sad
n-
pants?
nothing really. Okay, so I'm a ready spaghetti.
Okay.
Can you hear me good? Because I'm kind of far away from my microphone.
I can hear you very well.
Fabulous. Hey, if you're out there, come on in. We're having a fantastic time. My name is Samantha. I'm very good intention. That's my very good friend Becca. It says Rebecca, but that's stiff and boring. Um,
Wow.
you're welcome. You look
Wow.
lovely.
You're just doing great already. Just jumping right in, aren't we? Wow.
We're
Wow.
doing gratitude. Well, I'm already in a fiery mood because we have a Taurus sun and a Taurus moon. So I want to fight people in the street. So
Okay.
there's that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull an affirmation, and then I'm gonna have Rebecca pull one. So, guys, if you don't know, at the beginning of every one of our shows, where we talk about everything from politics to astrology to spirituality to women's health, anything that you can think of that the she he the she hers they them's want to be involved with,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what we're talking about. So I'm pulling my affirmation.
Gonna,
It says, there is a shit ton of happiness ahead of me.
that is a
A
hundred
shit
percent.
ton of happiness. These cards don't like to show up.
100%.
Rebecca, I'm going to pull yours, and because I want to. It says, scream, yell, freak the F out, and then go do something that matters.
I'll do
That's
that
yours.
later. I won't do it on the live. How about that?
Well, if you need to, just don't say DT and we'll be fine.
Okay.
Welcome in, Cat in the Hat. Welcome in. Somebody else is in here, and I just want to say welcome to everybody.
Hi.
We just did our affirmations. We're about to jump into a little bit of some fun astrology explanations. So I know Rebecca and I have talked about these, and we're going to do a quick overview. Then over the next couple shows, we're going to go over each one individually. So Rebecca's been asking for this. A lot of people have been asking to go over each planet in somebody's chart, in somebody's zodiac chart.
Mhm.
And what does that mean? How does that affect you?
Okay.
Okay? Um and I want to pause because I feel like my hair is I do not like it at all.
It's a door. Why? It's so cute.
Because I feel like I'm about to drive a van to take my kids to soccer, and in that van I'm gonna be screaming bad things, and it's just I don't know, I don't feel good about it, but
What's the problem? I
I
think you
don't know.
look adorable.
Well, thanks, but you know how I am. All right, so guys, so if you're out there, come in. We're doing some quick astrology stuff. We're gonna jump into some politics after that, like we like to do. All right, number one. So we know in our astrology chart what the sun is, right? The sun represents the core of a person's identity, their vitality, ego, and will. It's the source of light, of life and light, and that illuminates the self. All of this can be found on Google. And, as I'm reading it, keep in mind these are very basic overviews. Okay,
Okay.
so the sun. So, for instance, your actual zodiac sign, when somebody's like, oh, what's your astrology sign? And I'm like, well, the sun sign mine's a Sagittarius. Rebecca's is a Cancer.
Mhm.
But your sun sign doesn't, it means something, obviously, but there are so many things that attribute to it. So it's kind of like your sun sign is the base of the cake. All right, it's like the base batter of the cake.
Okay.
And so let's say you start out with a chocolate cake. Every chocolate cake is a Sagittarius, let's say that. And then the moon, I have a Cancer moon.
Mhm.
So you add that in, and cancers are strawberries. I'm just making this up as I go, right? Like they're ingredients.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm with you.
So the next thing is our moon sign. And to me, it means a lot. It means as much as the sun sign, which I don't always talk about like I want to, because the sun sign is what everybody's really interested in. And once again, I'm a Sagittarius sun sign, so most people think I'm just constantly fiery. And don't get me wrong, I have it in me, but I also have a Cancer moon,
Man.
which is a water sign, which is very emotional. So I am constantly worried about other people. And to be honest, like, I'm not surprised that I'm a hardcore liberal leftist at all, with the fact that I'm a Sagittarius sun and a Cancer moon.
Yeah.
And then I am a Taurus rising, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But your moon sign, it governs emotions, feelings, inner world, and intuition. It reflects our emotional responses and how we relate to others. So, oh, Xavian, welcome.
Xavian's
Welcome.
here.
Oh, hold on. I want to sing Xavian's special song. Welcome, Xavian. Everybody, if you're in here, if you're out here, what you're doing, follow Xavian. He is amazing, and I love his content. Okay. So, there's that. There's my Xavian song. So, okay. So, the moon in our chart is our emotions, it's our feelings and how we respond to things. So as a Cancer, I am very concerned with everyone outside of me. Okay, I don't always take care of myself like I should. So I have to worry about taking care of me. A Pisces moon worries a little bit too much about their internal brain thought process. And they're not always thinking about what other people are thinking and how it will work. And they have to grow to see everybody else's perspective. So their opposite. Cancer has to grow to find their own perspective, because I'm more worried about if other people are comfortable. Unless you're a bigot, then I don't care if you're comfortable. If you're a bigot, hold on, let me bring my microphone on back.
Oh my God.
Listen, if you're a bigot, I don't care what you think. I really don't. And this is all for educational purposes, what I'm about to say. If you are a bigot in any way, and if you are racist, a homophobe, a transphobe, any of those things in educational purposes, right? I want to state this very seriously. I do not care about your feelings. I don't care about your thoughts. I don't care if you have runny diarrhea. I don't care about it. And that's what I'm going to tell you. So if you think that, you don't care about other people, but I'm going to care about your feelings, that's going to be, you're at the end of the line. And I'm taking care of everybody else before I take care of somebody's selfish ass. I'm not doing that.
We're what? 8 minutes into the line?
Yeah.
We're already talking about diarrhea? We're already there, huh?
Give me a minute and I'll talk about snot.
I'm good. It's okay.
Okay.
Keep going.
So next is Mercury. So Mercury goes into retrograde and everybody acts like, oh, and it's because Mercury retrograde is not fun for anybody, because it affects communication, intellect, the mind. And then when we say communication, technology is meant for communication. That's why we have a lot of issues when Mercury's in retrograde, because technology was made for communication. You guys know I got a cough because I garden too much. Woo! The last one of these I'm going to do for tonight, and then we'll finish doing the overview tomorrow for these. So is Venus. So what does Venus mean? Mercury. Venus symbolizes love, beauty, harmony, and values. It governs aesthetic, pleasure, and relationships. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about these planets, they're also connected to different gods and goddesses in different cultures. So Venus is connected to Aphrodite. Mm-hmm. In the Greek mythology. In the Roman mythology, her name is actually Venus, and she is the goddess of love. Mm-hmm. So it's, how do you love? And it's so dependent. And it's also, women are related to Venus. So women are also strongly connected to the moon, but the moon is strongly connected to everyone. So we have to be very careful with how we say, okay, women are the moon.
Yeah.
because they are.
Yeah.
But when we talk about the planets and how they are, Mars is male, Mars is men, right? Mars is war.
Mm-hmm.
But Venus is feminine, Venus is soft. Venus, now don't, when I say soft, I mean they're not going to come at you straight in the face with war. They're going to come at you and you're never going to see it coming because they don't want to get messy.
Nice.
Because women, feminine, so these are not Western culture gender roles in astrology. When we talk about feminine and masculine, hello, Memos, welcome. When we talk about feminine and masculine in astrology, we're not talking about Western culture's feminine and masculine, which, Rebecca, you and I have talked about that multiple times, right?
Right.
Feminine in Western culture is very like, oh, I'm a woman. Oh. You know, like, I do what men tell me to do and I have to wear makeup and all this crazy stuff. That's how I see Western culture femininity. It's ridiculous.
I have a
But
question.
yes,
What is your Venus sign?
I don't remember
I'm a Leo.
off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Now, I do know that my Mars is in Scorpio.
So is mine, girl. So is mine.
And I'll do that one real quick because Mars is my favorite. And let me tell you why Mars is my favorite. Mars represents men. And as a member of the LGBTQ community, and I'm the L part, men, if you are not 100% good man on like I'm saying, like you've worked on yourself hardcore, like I'm a little rough on you. And if you're a Trump supporter, you're never going to see me coming. I'm going to duck in. I'm going to duck in like somebody in the night, like a bat in the night. You're never going to see me. And then when I walk away, they're going to go, was she nice to me or was she awful to me?
I also have Mars and Scorpio, but unfortunately, I'm not a part of the alphabet mafia. Every day, I wake up and hope that it's different, but it's not. But I also am very similar in that sense. It's like if you have not worked on yourself, just go out. I can't do it. I can't do it.
So let me sit back here. I'm going to sit back and relax for a minute because we got something real serious to talk about. Here, let me sit the microphone on my toes. Okay. So here's what's happening. Donald Trump and the conservatives, they want the American people to have the babies. And that's why abortion is not legal. Is because Donald Trump wants the American people to have the babies. And it ain't for brown Jesus. It's for capitalism.
Yep.
Because if they don't have enough bodies, and that's why, like, they didn't close America down when it came to COVID. They don't care about people. Like, they literally just wanted bodies in jobs. And, like, they told people, like, we don't care. Like, they didn't tell people, but, like, there was, like, remember there was those memos and stuff, like, talking about how it would just cut the weakest of the herd out.
Great. That's awesome.
And that was during COVID. And all this for educational purpose. All this can be looked up. There's no misinformation. It's so important that, we talk about what DT did during COVID, but it's not even just that. Going back to having babies, that's why they, got rid of Roe v. Wade, is because they want to control American women and ensure that no matter what, they have babies. Okay? And if people are like, that ain't the reason, blah, 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 bring me facts. And do not bring me the Bible. If you bring me the Bible, you ain't going to like my response. I don't have time for quotes of mythological nature. I don't have time for it. And here's the deal. Here's my new thing, Rebecca. Are you ready for my new thing?
Yeah.
If you quote Christianity to me, I get to quote my spirituality to you. Hey, Sissy Fairy, welcome in.
I like it.
So when I say that, so when somebody's like, in the Bible, and they start talking about, them homosexuals. If you don't know what I said, it's because I don't want TikTok to know what I said, but you know what I said. It's the LGBTQ community. And I'm going to tell you something. I lost my train of thought because I got so mad at I got so mad. I lost my train of thought.
Listen, at the end of the day, you gotta make the babies.
Gotta make the babies. But, okay. So, here's the deal. America is one of the only, like, leading countries for the time being that doesn't have paid medical leave. Okay? Child care is outrageous. Health care is outrageous. Everything's outrageous. And they expect you to do this. And see, foster care is not good. I want to be very clear as somebody who has worked with young children and seeing how foster care works and seeing these things, like, children slip through the cracks all the time.
Yeah.
It is constant. So adopting children, not really an option. And it's crazy what people have to go through to actually adopt a child. Everything is ridiculous. And all this to get to. So you know how Trump is like, tariffs are going to save us, which we all know tariffs aren't going to save us because it's going to end up costing Americans more money. Tariffs have already raised prices of the leading brands of strollers, car seats, and other kids' products by hundreds of dollars, sending retailers and manufacturers scrambling to secure inventory from vendors and driving jittery parents into buying items for newborns right away. So not only are women forced, and so when I say that, like, baby bearing people, because it's not just women that give birth, trans men, they, them give birth. Hey, if you support Donald Trump, come on in if you want to argue.
Well, no.
Rebecca doesn't want that, but I do. I'm in the mood to fight today.
I can tell.
And I'm wearing my core shirt.
What? We are using too many words tonight, ma'am.
Well, no, I am LGBTQPIA.
I understand, but you're saying a lot of things. We don't want to get in trouble.
Rainbows, and all this is for educational purposes.
It is 100%.
Because I need everybody to know, if you are not part of that community, you cannot say anything that I say. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. The same way that nobody should say the N-word but black people. Yeah. So hush your mouth, go on about your business. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I always, and first thing I'm going to state is, out of all the bigotries, I hate them all, right?
Well,
we know that racism is, right?
Yeah.
We know that sexism, right, it just depends on the situation to which one wins, because there can be multiple different things involved. Yes. But at the end of the day, and this is, if you have all these things going on, so let's say, like, in America, you are a beautiful black woman, like gorgeous, like, you know what I mean, like Sierra, or like, ooh, and you put her next to a fat white woman. Mm-hmm. The fat phobia, I think, is going to play in advance. Now, let me tell you why. Okay. Because in America, I have watched beautiful people. Now, if there's two fat people and one is black and one is white, obviously the white person's going to get the leg up. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to having beauty privilege, mm-hmm. I have seen beauty privilege span everything. Because if you hit a certain look, mm-hmm. it doesn't matter. And I'm not saying there isn't anybody who's gonna, like, not be racist. I'm not saying that. Mm-hmm. I'm saying in a general population. How do you feel about that? In 2025.
I think that I think fat phobia is a thing. I think that it exists. There's a lot of people who believe it doesn't exist. However, when it's with racism,
Are you treated better when you're thinner?
you are, but you're also treated better when you're white.
I agree. So I think what it comes down to is how much pretty privilege is there.
Yeah. I mean, I've had um, both YT men and men of color tell me that I would be prettier if I lost some weight. I've had um, I've had YT men and men of color tell me that it doesn't matter what I weigh, I'm still a N word.
Yeah.
So it kind of, I don't know.
It's kind of situational for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And
Um,
I think that's where I sit too. So like when I made the broad statement, I made the broad statement to people, make people come in the room because I'm a bad person. But I think it's so important that we take into account like things are so situational, and it's taken me down this corner of that's why DEIA is so important,
yeah.
because you can literally, I've been in situations as a chubby little LGBTQ woman, white woman,
Mhm.
where I was treated worse because I didn't have the pretty privilege,
Mhm.
but that was in Arizona. Now in Kentucky, doesn't matter if you have pretty privilege, if like racism will prevail.
Mhm.
So I think it also depends on where you are.
Yeah. I mean, so for instance, like if I'm treated poorly somewhere, my first question is to myself is was I treated poorly because of my race or because of
Mm.
my weight? Or because
Or
I'm a woman.
there, that I was about to say.
So I don't know. I think it just depends on the person. And it's, like you said, the situation too.
The situation, because let's say for instance like myself, I think, like I have autoimmune disease, but I am not differently able to where I need to use a wheelchair or a walker or anything like that. But if you have somebody who is overweight in a wheelchair and a person of color, they're treated horribly,
Yeah.
right? Like when you take it and you don't, it's just, it's such a messed up thing to me, and it's something I've had to like I don't even understand it. It's something that I've noticed to where people pick things to dislike people for that people can't help at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That makes
So,
sense.
yeah, so like racism's weird. I
It
think
is.
it's real. I think it's a weird. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're racist, I think you're weird. Like literally everybody's a human being on this planet, and white people didn't start existing till like 3,000 years ago because we got lighter skin, moved to Europe and like all that jazz. Like we all started out as black people. And so it's really confusing to me how white people are like, "Yeah, we're better." And it's like, "No, we were all black at one point." Like, what are you doing? Like, are you okay? But then those same people believe the earth is what, 3,000 years old, so I don't know how to help them either. And it makes me think, like, is your mother your sister? You know what I mean? I want you to know, if you are in MAGA, I believe your mother is your sister. Like, I believe there is some commingling
Oh my
going
goodness.
on.
I don't think we need to start saying those things. I think
It's fun. It's
it's
fine. It's fun and fine. It's fun and
well,
fine. Xavier likes it.
okay.
Xavier promotes it.
I don't think we should be just making broad statements like that. I
Well,
think you know.
and the reason like I brought this up is I want people to with this day and age,
Mhm.
if you are not white and Christian and particularly a male, right?
Mhm.
But white MAGA women, they're doing really well too. Like they're okay in society. You have to look at somebody's situation,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, somebody who is 100, like, it depends on where you're at in the country. It depends on what somebody looks like. It depends on the color of their skin. It depends on their gender in Western culture. It depends on, are they differently abled? And all these things are how they're going to be treated.
Yeah.
And why do those things matter to if you're treated with respect or kindness? That's my main question. Why do those things matter to if you're treated with respect and kindness?
Hmm. Yeah.
They should not.
They should not.
Brittany, welcome in. Brittany,
Oh,
I would like you to know, Brittany, that I think you're wonderful. And that's what I'm going to say to you.
Brittany, you're awesome.
This is something. Oh, Lord. Oh, God, what
Cute.
happened to that?
You look cute.
Okay, so going back to fat phobia, I hate it. And people base everything off of the BMI scale. And the BMI scale was created off of thin Anglo-Saxon people.
Mm-hmm.
And Anglo-Saxon people are white people. Some would reference them as something about dancing in the flower.
Wow. Wow.
It's for educational purposes.
Oh my God.
So,
All right.
and so, like, when we talk about these things, we're not talking about like other cultures and how other cultures are built and how other cultures eat and any of that. We're not talking about any of that. We're just talking about a scale that was made, almost 80 years ago. And we're not talking about diseases. We're not talking about anything that has to do with women giving birth. The BMI is garbage. If a doctor, number one, you do not have to get on a scale at the doctor's office. The only time you need to get on the scale is if you're going into surgery and they need to know how much medicine to give you. And I mean, and to be honest, like, to give you meds, they may say like, hey, I need to know per how much, you know what I mean? Rebecca's dad was a doctor, but at the end of the day, they don't need that till after the appointment.
Yeah. But we are not going to sit here and spread medical misinformation. So we don't want to say, don't get on the scale. We're just going to say, you have a choice.
You do have a choice.
Yeah.
And if you feel uncomfortable, you don't have to do it right away. I don't ever, because I have had so much fat phobia at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
I cannot even fathom what women, plus size women of color, deal with.
Yeah, it's not cute.
So like, there are times, like, I have a doctor right now to where he knows if he brings it up, this man is like 6'6", and he is terrified of me. I am 4'11". He knows that if he brings up my weight, he might as well call the police because I'm climbing on him like a tree. I'm not playing. I'm not doing that. I've had too much fat phobia in my life. We're not playing those games. Hold on. I'm going to show you.
Oh my goodness.
I'm a big bowl of 11. All right. Like, you see this right? Oh, yeah. Oh.
Wow.
Like,
Thank
and
you for
he
that.
knows I'm not playing with him.
Yeah.
You know, my earphones are falling out of I stood up, God forbid. But I'm going to delve more into fat phobia in the future. I've asked, do I have to? And they said, yes, I did. And I don't go to the doctor because I don't want to get on it. Tell them, say, I'm willing to get on it afterwards so you can prescribe me medicine. But if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to do it in the beginning.
Yeah. But you should go to the doctor. Don't let that portray,
And tell the doctor, like, I'm really, like, I have a phobia. I'm really uncomfortable. Doctors have made me uncomfortable. So I'll get on the scale after our appointment.
Yeah. And a lot of things are, it's like you, as a patient, this is something they don't talk about in our culture. It's like you are the purveyor of your health. I know we go to doctors and medical professionals to get help for our body, but you are the person who's supposed to speak for yourself. So they don't tell you, like, oh, take this medicine and this is what's wrong with you and da da da. That's all great and good. Thank you for that. But this is what I want for my body. This is how I'm going to do it. And if you have a problem with it, guess what? There's 5 million other doctors out there that does the same thing you do.
Yeah.
All right, go to somebody else. But always speak up for yourself, because that's the only person who's going to care about you and your body is you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. I think something huge about fat phobia is people stereotyping
Mm-hmm.
that people can't do certain things because they're bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can do the splits. I can bring, and I can bring my leg and almost touch the back of my head,
Yeah.
like pulling it all the way back. And people always think because I'm large and in charge that I can't be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like never assume anything about anybody, because when you assume, you make an ass out of you, not me,
Mm-hmm.
an ass out of your ass.
Mm-hmm.
You got two asses. You want two asses? That's twice the smell. And if you're a man, you ain't washed the first one, so you know you ain't washing the second ass.
Oh my lord.
You know what I mean?
We are just on a roll tonight.
We are. We're.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, good. Oh my god, I
What
thought
just
I lost
happened?
my camera. I didn't. Okay, I'm getting aggravated with fat phobia because like there's so much I want to talk about with it, but like I'm not going to go down that road because I've already said things that could get this live banned. So I'm going to step away. I'm going to get my thoughts together, and in the future,
Mhm.
I'm not going to be so emotional.
Really? Don't lie. That's
Uh,
just a straight up lie.
you know what? When people
Don't
are like,
lie.
"You're so emotional," and it's like if somebody isn't emotional about stuff they care about, something's wrong with you.
A robot.
Rebecca, I hope you're ready for this.
Okay, let's go.
When I hear men say, "Yeah, men don't cry." No, if you don't cry, something's wrong with you. You have to cry. Like, that's why we teach children how to handle their emotions now, and we do gentle parenting. Because if you don't teach kids how to cry, they end up being men who throw tantrums and end up throwing things and hurting things, and they don't know how to deal with their emotions, and then they end up hurting people and saying stupid stuff, and then they're out there working on their car, and nobody cares about it, and talking about stuff nobody cares about, and they can't get other hobbies, and then they don't ask anybody else about their life.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Nope.
so, hey, and I know Xavian is emotionally advanced. Hey, everybody, go follow Xavian, and that's how you become an emotionally advanced male.
Yep.
Okay, then that's how I feel.
There you
And
go.
I want, like, oh, okay, so I had a female relative today.
Hmm.
We were talking about Pedro Pascal.
Oh no. I love him.
And she was like, I just don't get all the hype. And she is a MAGA, right? And I'm like, the reason you don't get all the hype is because you like toxic men.
Oh, did you say that to her?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the response. And I'm just like, listen, I'm like, people love Pedro Pascal because he is a guy's guy. He's a girl's guy. Like, he just cares about people and he wants to be a good person.
Mhm.
Like, and you know, if the men who are out there, like incels and conservative men who are out there like, "Oh, we can't find a partner."
Mhm.
When MAGA men complain about not being able to find a partner, that's literally like slapping yourself in the face until you bleed and then getting mad that you started bleeding. I'm telling you that. But listen, MAGA men or anybody out there, MAGA conservative white national Christian men, when they're like, I can't find a partner. I'm alone. And white Jesus doesn't come in for me. It was literally your fault.
Yeah.
That
There's
was
so many
your
videos about that, I think.
bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's so
yeah,
many videos like that.
like what? What's happening?
And they talk about how like they need the women they're looking for are like good in the kitchen and are subservient and clean the house and do the things all women should be doing. And I'm like, and you wonder why you're alone.
He had it coming. He had it coming. That's all I hear.
I no.
Because
No.
let me tell you something, and this is why the universe was like, we cannot have her be with cis men. And this is why. Because I'd already be in jail. It would already be like it'd already be like the Broadway musical Chicago.
Oh my God.
And you know where she's like, and I told him to pop his gum one more time. And that would have been me. Because I would have been like, I told you to stop it. You
Listen.
know, I have patience for children, animals, women, they, thems, you know, all the wonderful people of the world, but cis hetero men. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they don't, 98% of them don't try at all.
I just want people on this live to know.
Brittany said, look up the reporter who dated Republicans as a news story. It was a good read. Oh, I'll have to look that up and we'll have to talk about it.
Yes.
Because if I had to date a Republican, I wouldn't be here today. One of us, it would have been like Mr. and Mrs. Smith when they like go at it and they tear the house apart.
Yeah.
But I would have won. Because I know I'm smarter.
Lord.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just want everybody to know God's a woman. How many Republicans can I make mad today?
Oh,
I'm going to go through a list of things that make conservatives mad, okay? And I'm going to state, okay, number 1. T women are women.
Whoa. Starting out strong.
T women are women. T men are men. And here's what I'm going to state. And they're like, can they have the babies? It's like, I don't have a uterus, a cervix, or fallopian tubes. What do you, like, if I have a baby, like, you better call the Catholic Church because we got the second coming. Because there is, like, so, and I was born with all that. Am I not a woman anymore because I can't give birth?
I guess not.
I mean, and I know so many women who have PCOS who are just infertile, that their eggs don't mature. There's so many reasons why women are infertile. And it's not even just women. Right? It's men. So many men are infertile. Mm-hmm. And we don't talk about it in our society because we don't talk about how men could be less than in any way. It's never the man's fault that a woman can't get pregnant.
Yeah.
It's always a woman's fault that she can't get pregnant. And you know, that's ridiculous because sometimes it's the woman's fault. Sometimes it's the man's fault. And that's okay. Being fertile doesn't make you a person. It doesn't make you worthy of existing. And I think conservatives and Christian nationalists right now are making women believe that if they don't give birth, they're not worthy of existing. And that is the most horrible message you can give somebody. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't believe that at all, right? And I know Rebecca's like... But you're telling these young women that their worth is based on giving birth.
Right.
And what if these young women, what if a young woman commits to this her whole life and this happens? Mm-hmm. She commits to Christian nationalism. She commits to getting a husband. She commits to being the perfect angel of a woman, right? What are those called? I can't think. They're a specific kind of a mom. But, and then they go to get pregnant and they're naturally just not fertile.
Yeah.
Her and her husband can't make it happen.
Right.
You've just told this woman since she was a little girl that her whole value is dependent on giving birth and being a mother. So now what? You get what I mean? What are your thoughts? Do you think I'm just being wild?
Well, yeah, you are. I mean, yeah, you're wild. That's the question. I do agree with you, though. I mean, I cannot have children. I don't think I have PCOS. They're not sure yet what I have, but I definitely have like tumors on my ovaries, and it's not in the cards for me. It is a lot of soul searching because like I wasn't raised that like my job is to have children. That wasn't at all how my parents raised me. However, I lived in a world where the world told me that was my worth. That was my. I mean, I remember my YT teacher. I think I was in the 6th or 7th grade. And she told me, she was like, well, you don't have to really try too hard because the only thing you're good for is to be on your back. And I'm like, okay. I had to go home and ask my mom what that meant because I didn't know what that meant.
Was your mom infuriated?
Oh, yeah. She went to the school the next morning.
Good. Oh, my. Yes,
great.
Ma'am. She hears me right now because I'm like, hallelujah, girl. Hallelujah.
So, but yeah, it's just, I mean, and I think especially women of color, they have a different set of standards as well, because like there's such a, when it goes back to like slave times, where like the only reason they had black women around was to have the children, to the continue the lineage for the YT owners. So
Mm-hmm.
I think, I really think that as women in this country, we're told that our worth is based off of if we can have children. But I also think that it's like, if we're not doing that, what's the point? I mean, I saw that guy, I can't even think of his name, but there's a guy on TikTok that is very pro, like, women are less than men. Like, he literally has a sign that
Oh,
says
there's so
that.
many.
There's
I
so
know
many to choose
there's
from.
so many. Like I think I know the one you're talking about, but I know like three that are very similar. So I'm like, which one?
Yeah. And it's just like their job is to have children and to, you know, clean the house and to make sure I
No,
have a hot meal when I get home from work. So
my
it's,
job is to never be a man's piece.
yeah,
That's my personal job,
yeah.
and I want you to know I stick to this job so much that I'm my own father's non-piece.
Hmm.
Like I never like being a leftist woman with a conservative father is just a ball full of fun.
Yeah.
And it hasn't contributed to me being this way at all.
Hmm.
Not even a little.
Not even a little.
Whew. Okay, let's look at our updates. Let's look at our like ground news. What's really going on? Like what's going on right this minute? Oh, my aggravation. 3 young children who were U.S. citizens, including one with cancer, were deported to Honduras alongside their mothers last week, according to the advocacy groups and family lawyers. One of the children is a 4-year-old with stage 4 cancer who was sent without medication, a lawyer for the child's family said.
I, I'm a deconstructed Christian, and I was raised in the church. And it makes me sad because I no longer believe in heaven and hell. But it makes me sad that there isn't a hell for Mr. DT, because if there was one, it would be made just for him. Like, I can't even imagine. My mother passed of cancer, and I can't imagine her going somewhere at stage 4 and not giving any medication and just letting her go. Just no one to watch her, no one to take care of her, just stick her
Well,
on a plane and send her back home. Like, I can't imagine that.
no, and at the end of the day, if it was between her getting the medicine and a child, she would have gave it to the child.
Yep, 100%.
And she was an immigrant.
Yes, she was. Yeah.
And to me like I think a lot of American privilege comes down to certain struggles Americans have never had,
Yeah.
and they're asking for.
Yeah.
I, the American the MAGA people that voted for Donald Trump, the people that voted for Donald Trump, they're asking to be hungry. They're asking for high prices. They're asking for bad taxes. They're asking for these things because they didn't educate themselves enough to actually understand what they were voting for. They were voting for an orange man over a highly educated woman.
Yep.
And I want you guys to know, and this is, and our president wears a diaper and
Does.
he shits in it
Okay. Whoa.
at
That's,
public events.
this is educational purposes.
He fell asleep
Allegedly.
during the Pope's funeral.
That is true. All true. However,
He has the lowest approval rating of any president in 80 years in his 90 days.
I just want everyone in this life to know that we still want to be here. So we're gonna be as good as we can.
Sorry, I was coughing. I didn't hear you. But anyway,
That's where we are tonight. It's a Monday. Oh my goodness. It's only Monday.
hold on. Listen. Our president wears a diaper and he shits in it.
Okay, stop. Why do you keep saying the word?
And
Keep saying the
when
word.
he
There's no place
shits in
to
it,
say the
other
word.
people have to be around him and smell it. Okay, and then does he clean it himself? I doubt it. He probably sits in that diaper as long as he can because he doesn't care.
Look,
And then I don't like, somebody has to help clean it. And it is probably stuck to him and they have to use wipes. And, he's probably the one, he probably sits there and goes, "Do you have the wipe warmer on?" Like, he probably even has a wipe warmer.
it probably has like the United States seal on them.
Yeah, like, I can't. I can't. I want you guys to know our president wears diapers and uses wipes. He has to. He has no choice.
Okay, we've got to stop. We can't. What do you think his favorite brand is? No, stop.
Well,
Listen.
hey, Rebecca, it just depends. I think our president's favorite brand of diaper is, it just depends. You know what I mean? I hope he uses
Also,
pH balance wipes though with his age and stuff. And I'm sure he has hemorrhoids from just sitting in that diaper. I'm sure he has sores and everything. And people have said like he smells, he farts, he shits his pants.
okay, stop.
He fell asleep during the Pope's funeral. I want to say that again.
Listen,
He fell
listen,
asleep during his time in court.
listen. We have got to. We've got to rein it back. You have said the S word 3 times.
Oh, that's okay. I can say that.
Oh, really? You can say it
Yeah, we
about.
can say shit.
You can say about DT.
Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm saying our president shits and pisses in his diaper when he's doing official American business.
Okay. All right.
I'm sure when him and his good friend P over in Russia are hanging out, he gets a clean diaper on. Bet he doesn't want to be embarrassed by that old poo smell.
All right. Can we? Let's just move on. Let's move on. Let's go on to what is your next news clipping you'd like for us to know about?
We're towards the end of our live this evening.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we it was an interesting night.
It's been a great night. Guys, let's go. I want to recap real quick. We talked about some astrology and it was a really fun time. We're going to continue on that. We talked about how our president is ruining America and shits in his pants. I mean, that was a big highlight of the evening. We talked about all kinds of bigotry and racism and fat phobia and tea phobia and all these things, and how you should always look at the situation at hand, and there's so many things going on and you just need to be kind to people and not judge them on things they can't help.
Yes.
We did do all that.
Yes, we did. We,
But I do. So how we're going to go out? Are you ready for how we're going to go out tonight? I want you to say one thing. One thing. Hey, Tori.
Hi, Tori.
I want you to say one thing that you think is fun or happy in your life.
What? That's putting me on the spot. Hold on. Give me a second.
I'm ready.
Something. Um, donuts.
Oh, wow.
I had a
Um,
donut today. I had 2 donuts actually.
I have two
Um,
things.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay, number one,
Mhm.
I am happy that I am living.
Okay.
Okay. And like normally I'm not super happy about that.
Yeah.
But I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just joshing. Like in this timeline, when Barack Obama was president and like the
Oh,
timeline was better and
stop.
like everything just felt a little better. Um, Things were good, but right now everything is painful and I don't like it. So
I miss that fun.
I'm gonna end with Donald Trump shits in his pants
Why?
inside of a diaper.
Why do you keep doing?
And I hate him. And that's how we go. So everybody have a good night. Rebecca, talk to you soon.
I'm so sorry.